Once again, you guys caught me off guard. Hey, it's Gabriel and welcome to WWADD. I think I need to do the proper introduction once again. So in today's video, we are actually going to look at some symptoms most of you ignore. Well, it's unfortunate that we are actually, in some and most countries, actually experiencing heat waves, and so there are a lot of things that are going, changes that are happening in their body that they consider normal. Meanwhile, at the end of the day, there might be something hidden behind it. So I'm going to look at some of these things, and then we are going to check if you have one of them, then you'd have to go and see a doctor. So before I get straight into the video, you know what I'll ask from you guys is just subscribe. If you've not subscribed yet, just hit on that subscribe button right now, and don't forget to also click on the notification bell to get notified anytime I upload new video. And I think we actually moving forward, and so I thank each and everyone who supports me, and also don't forget to like this video if you enjoy it at the end of the day. Just hit that like button. Oh, I think let me give you guys some few seconds to do that. Yeah, I believe strongly that you liked this video. Well, I agree with you that not all sickness actually demands treatment, but at the end of the day, there are some little things most of you ignore that actually is dangerous. For instance, if you are weak, it might be cancer. If believe it or not, it might be cancer, and so you need to actually go and see a doctor. Don't neglect these smaller symptoms because you think it's normal. It's never normal. And also neglect because you think the weather has changed. It's never the same. You know, when we were young, they would tell you, yeah, you are coughing because the weather has changed. Meanwhile, it might be a flu. So you need to actually see a doctor if you have this kind of symptoms that I'm going to talk about. Yeah, I think there is no need for you to actually neglect the smaller things because it might be dangerous, like I said from the beginning. So I think we have to talk about it, and so this is the right time to talk about it. Moving on, we are going to talk about rashes. Most of the time, people actually attribute rashes to heat. Well, I agree with you that heat can cause rashes, but you know, other stuff can also cause rashes, and the rashes come in different forms. You know, rashes can just rapidly grow all over your body, which might be dangerous. It might be due to an allergy, meaning you are taking a medicine which you don't have to take, which you have to go and see the doctor eventually. Rashes can also be due to even HIV/AIDS. Rashes can be due to an infection, a very grave infection, which you'd have to go and see a doctor. It can come with fever. So if your rashes come with fever, then you should consider it very deadly, and so you have to go and see your doctor. So don't just think it's the heat, because we are in normal times where the weather is very hot, and so I am bound to actually have rashes, 1 or 2 rashes on my skin. No, it doesn't work that way. You would have to go and see a doctor. So if during this hot season you are having rashes with fever, consider going to see a doctor. Personally, I've experienced this before where I sweat at night during the hot season. Yeah, I think it's physiological to attribute sweating at night to the weather being hot. But then, right beside it, there might be what we call the tuberculosis. Well, what most of you forget about is that it comes with other signs. So you shouldn't actually consider only sweating at night as you having tuberculosis. I know right now someone somewhere said, I sweat at night, and so I think I have tuberculosis. No, tuberculosis actually comes with coughing. Well, the coughing can come with phlegm, which might be mixed with a little blood. You would have fever eventually, body weakness. I mean, yeah. So these are some of the things you have to consider before thinking you have tuberculosis. So if you are sweating at night and then you are coughing, you need to really go to the hospital to check yourself. Don't think it's the hot weather, because personally I also experienced that, and so I sweat at night, but mine doesn't come with cough, and so I don't think there is a need for me to see a doctor. But you sweating at night, thinking it's hot weather, at the same time coughing, you really need a doctor. It might be tuberculosis. Well, I feel like I need to tell you guys some ways to prevent tuberculosis. Well, you shouldn't be sleeping around people who have tuberculosis. You shouldn't actually congest in a room. You should actually let enough air to circulate wherever you live. And if possible, you wear a mask. because COVID-19 is not the only thing you should wear mask for. Would you believe it if I tell you that some people actually drink water not because they are thirsty, but then they have dried mouth? Well, I totally agree with you that during this hot season, you are bound to have dried mouth, but then something dangerous might be happening beside it. Now, there's this thing in our mouth known as the salivary glands that helps produce saliva, at the end of the day, keeping our mouth from drying, and so it keeps the mouth wet. So what happens is that there's this condition known as xerostomia. Xerostomia is actually a condition in which your salivary glands don't produce saliva any longer, and so you are bound to take water everywhere you go and drink water anytime you feel like you need to drink it. And so most of the time people actually think it's the hot weather, and so I'm about to actually have dried mouth. There might be something dangerous happening beside it. Well, if this actually dryness of mouth comes with itchy eyes or joint pain, or even a swelling in the cheek and in the neck, then you should consider going to see a doctor. It might be very dangerous. It might be an autoimmune disease. It might be something related to your joint. You should consider actually going to see a doctor with this kind of issue. And one important, most of the time there's some medications that you guys are actually taking that will lead to this particular condition, and so you should consider yourself that which kind of medicine am I taking at the moment that actually leads to this particular dryness of mouth, so as you can adjust it or even see a doctor for him or her to give you the right way of going about the dryness of your mouth. I totally agree with you. If you are to drink more water during the hot season because you're having dryness of mouth, and whatever goes in must eventually come out, and so you urinate during the day several times, but then not when you urinate more than 3 times during the night, then you might be having something called urinary incontinence. I might have talked about this because it's something that most people don't talk about because they feel like it's something that's actually happening down there, and so nobody needs to know about my privacy. Well, in this case, there are certain things you have to consider as well. Waking up at night is actually dangerous because you are depriving yourself from that sound 8-hour sleep. You might even fall down because there is, during the night, lights are off, and then you might fall down and hit your head at something. And more importantly, there might be something happening which, apart from the urinary incontinence, most of you know, pregnancy. Well, pregnancy should definitely come with other signs like, swelling of the feet, your breast becomes so hard. There are other things you would have to look out for if you think it's pregnancy. You should know the last time you flowed. So these are some of the things you have to consider if you think you are pregnant. Then apart from that too, the urinary incontinence, like I said earlier on, most of you guys don't want to talk about it because it's something you guys think is private because it's happening down there. But then you guys have to see a doctor. Don't think you are drinking water and so you have to urinate all the time. Sometimes you need that water to stay within to do the necessary stuff that is needed within your body. So don't think you'd have to urinate anytime you drink water. If you are urinating more than 20 times at night, I put it to you that you have to see a doctor because there might be something wrong down there which needs to be checked. Yeah, I'm just editing my video right now. I realized that there is this footage my cameraman did not actually add. So it's about the fact that when you frequently urinate and you have fever, you could be having what you call the UTI, urinary tract infection. And at the same time, there might be diabetes worrying you. So you should just definitely go to the hospital and check it out. So it's not only when you are pregnant or you are having urinary incontinence. There could be UTI when it comes with fever, and also diabetes, especially the type 2. I know a lot of you guys out there know about sore throat already, and believe me or not, you guys have your natural remedies as to how to solve this kind of sore throat. But it's not always due to hot weather as most of you may think it is. That I'm bound to have some few scratches down my throat if the weather is very hot or if my mouth is dried up. It might not be the case all the time. There must be something happening. Now, for the case of the viral infection, that can go down on its own. It can disappear on its own. But when it comes to the bacterial infection like the streptococcus you guys know about already, it can live for a very longer period of time. And it can be due to complications of other diseases. If you have joint pain in addition to sore throat, you definitely have to go and see a doctor, because there's a reason to that. And it can be due to STIs. Most of you guys know about it already. I wouldn't want to mention, but let me try and mention a few, like the gonorrhea you guys know about, the HIV, and then this kind of things can actually lead to sore throat, which you would have to go and see a doctor with your partner included, because it's very important to carry your partner along for you guys to be tested. And so those are some of the things that can lead to sore throat. So don't think it's just because of the hot weather and so I am bound to have some scratches and down my throat. No, it might be due to an infection, and a very grave infection as well. And so you need to see a doctor as soon as possible. So this has been it, and I think you guys have learned a lot. Don't think that the changes that are happening in your body is due to the weather. Well, we do believe that sometimes some changes are due to weather, but then you should consider the fact that there are dangerous things that might be happening, and so you have to see a doctor. Well, if you think that there are other changes that do actually, or when people actually talk to you about some changes that do happen in a particular season, just put this kind of changes in the comment section. I'll be very glad to give you my opinion about this kind of stuff. And so this has been it. Also, don't forget to click on the notification bell to get notified anytime I upload new video. And I'm just editing a video to put out there. And also, if you've not subscribed to this channel, please do it to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video as well. And those who have actually subscribed to the channel, I really thank you guys for your support, and I really appreciate it. And don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section on some of the changes people talk about because they think the weather have changed. And this has been it. See you guys in the next one.